engineers, welcome back once more. And by this point, you should already have gotten your own parameters. And I also gave you on the resources part this table, this chart, so you can enter these parameters that you guys think that we're going to be using at the moment when we set up in real life. Okay? You should have already downloaded your manual and everything. Now, how do we download our manual? Ideally, as such, is copy and paste on your navigator. I use Google Chrome. So I'm going to paste this here, and this is the easiest way. This is the easiest way to get a manual. But the problem here is that there are many digits on this. It's a pretty specific catalog. And the catalog numbers, generally, they are set up by model. But this is not a model. This is a catalog number as such. So the model is BDM. So here, what you can try to do is removing some digits, some letters, and even so, they may not show up. So therefore, you can start looking for it the following way until it shows up here. For example, here we have series MS300. So most assuredly, it's this very same site. And also something very important at the moment when you look for your own catalog numbers and your manuals online, please guys, try to enter as your first option. Try to go into your drive supplier website. Why? Because you may, if you download it from someplace else, you may download some virus. So all you need to do is try to enter on your manufacturer. So it's very weird. It's not very common that this happens, but maybe some people do try to log into different sites online, but I just wanted to tell you this. Okay, so try to go to your manufacturer's website. In this case, it's Delta. So this is their symbol. You should already have your manual. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate how to perform the download to the day when we impart this course. Now, we may change some things, but it can be a little bit more aesthetic on the functional part. So it's basically the same thing. Now, we enter, and they're saying basically the same thing. You have here your VFD category with our variators. Okay? But here, I can't really find anything. That's where you say, well, I thought you said that this is where I can find everything. So, if you hit contact us and you ask for a document or something, you can enter what region you wish and we'll get in contact with you. Delta has very good service. This is all you have to do. I'm not promoting them or anything. It's just something that I've seen and I've worked with. I also like this because they're also in the Asia continent. And Taiwan is very close to Japan. So they have the same culture. So they don't overcomplicate things at the moment when they handle or when they design their keyboard. It's very simple, the way to enter their parameters. It's very similar to Yaskawa ones, but Yaskawa is a little bit more expensive in Japanese. So here on the bottom part for tools and services, or here in service and assistance, on the top part, you're going to find in the Download Center. You're going to click there. And I'm going to show you as such the open site and the search that you're going to have to go. So this is so that you can save time and you can focus on what's going to be good for parameter searching. Okay, so this is going to be by omission only, so we can save time. Once we save this site, then they're going to ask us, well, what type of product? So we have our category here, and we're going to select industrial automation. So the website is in Spanish, and we're going to select the drives part. And they're going to indicate us, well, what drives do you have? Which models? So then it's going to be for this model, okay? But there's also another one, which is MS300. Okay, this is so you guys have to be very careful while choosing your catalog number. There might be some confusion. So this drive, I already downloaded it, but I also noticed that it says VDFM. So I also noticed that the model changes. So I'm going to select this here for technical document. And for you guys to see the difference, sometimes one single letter changes everything. Okay, this is what it says here. So we have our variator MS300. It's in English, so perfectly okay by us. And that's where we start running our download. This one is a little bit heavier, but we're going to compare this for what we have here and what we're going to have on the other side. Now, here is where I'm going to indicate our faceplate, that it matches mainly with our model. So it's downloading here, and we're going to open this. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Now, there is no faceplate here, but it's these models. These are gray colored. And I can pretty much say that this one is not gray. They're in black and white, but still I know that they're not gray. They look different. So therefore, the right manual is this one. Okay, but I'd like you guys to analyze how one only letter can make a huge difference. You need to be very careful when looking for these drives. So then this one is, we're not interested in this, and I looked for this manual in our resources. So you guys use the right manual. I don't want you guys to think that you went through the right one. So it's this one, okay? So then our drill starts, our exercise starts, and so does the magic. So we need to know which parameters, or at least the group, so that I can, I know where I am to enter our data plates from our motor. Okay? Now, how are we going to look for this? I'm looking for it on this side. So drive, description, basic parameters. So I think this is pretty good. So we're going to look for this page and see if it shows up, because it didn't copy it. So we're going to start from here. Okay? So I'm showing you guys this together. So it's 12.1. Here we go. So that you guys can see the right method and the fact that, well, basically, what the right way to do this is. Because I can start running the video and everything could be perfect. So that I can tell you guys, well, these are the parameters and this is what you do. But I think it's a little bit more intuitive the way that I look for this. And based on experience, I think that it's easier to find them. I think you guys have a better method. If you have a better method, congratulations, guys. But in the end, I'm your instructor in this course. I'm going to teach you the easiest and the most efficient way that I consider based on my experience. But there's always a chance that the student can outdo the teacher. So whatever method you can use and whatever way to improve your search you can use it. But for now, I'm going to stick to this one. So parameter configuration descriptions. Here it's telling me our display for what we need. Startup display, everything that has to do with the screen. Okay, and now we need this, which are general parameters. This is a firmware number, and we're getting closer to this. Here we have control mode, and we're going to explain this later on. So if we go down, and here with our PLC, the most expensive one is, well, this is the point. Once we look at this, we're going to analyze this and we're going to add this. So it's telling me here, reference for speed as far as frequency goes. Okay, so this, so far, okay, this parameter 0020, I think first instance is what? That's the speed reference. So I'm going to add this. So parameter 00-20. And then it's telling me the operation command source. Where am I going to start this off from? So start, this is in Spanish, but I'm telling you in English, or command. From the control part, that's where I'm going to command it. So this is where I'm going to choose this. We want this from the keypad, from the external terminals. So we're going to look for this from 0021. Now, what else can we see here and what else can we find on this side? Stop method, ramp to stop, and coast to stop. Now, if you see, we have here two options, which these are the most common ones. For Yaskawa, apparently these were 4 options, but I'm assigning you, I'm giving you in general for every one of them. Okay, so once we analyze and understand what each drive means, that's going to depend on us, because that's what it means about everything else. But it's pretty simple, guys. So the control, there's not really a problem. So define characteristics, setup, what else do we have here? Here we have our command source, master frequency. But the other one was remote or local, and we wanted remote. Okay, so how's this going to stop then? Now what else do we need here on this side? We have 2 parameters. So here, apparently, basic parameters. This should be, as far as my logic says, the data plate, our motor data plate. And it's telling me here, basic parameters to enter my operation frequency, our max operation frequency. Now, we can enter this, okay? Or we can set it as default. But we can also enter here because it's set by default, and generally these are 60 Hertz, so that's why I don't want to confuse you guys or add an additional step to follow, or even data plate, an additional data plate data, because this is through our logic. So you need to be sure. And also, since this course is for Latin America and for other places around the world, so then that's why it depends. It's not really the frequency that we use here in Mexico to the one that they use in Spain. So all you need to do is analyze if the frequency matches, and if not, all you need to do is change this. Now, what else? We have voltage, and basically, here is our motor output. And here our voltage is 012, 01-02. What else do we have here? Mid voltage, no, not this. I only want the output. More parameters, more parameters, more parameters, and more parameters. What do we have here? Startup frequency. Here we go. Here, for example, my default number is 50. So again, we're going to leave it as default. These are the frequency limit. Acceleration time. We could add this. Our jog frequency. What else? What else? What else can we see here? Auto acceleration. These are pretty additional stuff. And here we go. We have digital input, output parameters. So this is what I was telling you guys about. For Yaskawa, it's a bit different, the way we configure our 2-word and 3-wire, sorry. But generally, it's going to tell us what way for startup or connection is the one that you are going to have in your application, okay? So we have 2-wire and 3-wire. So generally, we use our 3-wire. And we have them here. These are the right way to connect. So here, for example, it's telling us, all right, so for the 3-wire, this is a regular operation. So the setting value, when we change it to 3, is going to match to this part. And from this to this, basically is a quick start, which is going to work the same way. So you guys are going to select this, and I'm going to choose setting value. So I'm going to select option number 3. But this is 0200. So 0200, that's a parameter I need. So these are some of the pieces of data to enter our plate data. And finally, out of chance, we got to our multi-function input command. Okay, for digital input number 1, digital input number 2, and this is for 02-01 all the way to, let's see here. Let's see. All the way to 208. So 0201, 20208. So you see how easy it is to do this? Only by identifying and using our logic for what's to come. Now, what are these descriptions about? That's what you might be wondering. Well, these are actually our input functions, okay? So further down, we're going to start choosing this. And actually, I'd like you guys to see the way that we can use our connection, our 3-wire connection. Now, what do we need? Our digital input, what value is it going to be chosen from this? So you'll notice that it's not the same thing for Yaskawa than from other fans, other things. Now we're going to find here which one is the parameter that we need. So you need to run your bets, especially for your drills and your exercises. Now, what else do we have here? So all we need here are the data plates information. So we have our voltage, we're missing our current. We can either find it in English or look here in our index, our options, okay? So here, description, protection parameters, and motor parameters. So we're close to 0.5. And it matches page 12.1. Okay, so this is 0.5. And we're going to look for this. So it's 0.2, that's where we were. And okay. So 0.3. So we already moved over. And this is number 4. Now number 4 matches the speeds or the frequencies, so that they're predefined with our digital part. So motor parameters now, auto tuning. We don't need this for now, but we are going to use this in the future. Okay, so you need to pay close attention because this is going to save you from a lot of problems. Okay, a lot of problems and a lot of money. So here we have our nominal potency for our induction motor number 1. So here our potency matches 0.5, 0.2. What else? So average speed, 0.5, 0.3. Polarized number, it's going to be default or 4 in most cases. So induction motor current, we're generally not going to know this, so we're going to leave it as such. Now, what else is missing? Apparently, I think we have 1, 2, 3. We are missing our potency, our potency factor. 1, 2, 3, and what else here? Current is already set. Speed, that's set. Let's see here. So that's current, 0.1. We're missing our current. So what we're missing now is, let's see here. We're missing our potency factor. And we'll see if we can find it here on this side. And let's see here. Motor number 1. Connection. And here this is set by default for our star and delta connections. So no. The permanent magnets part, what we're going to use. For example, we can use here delta for our motor installation for permanent magnets. So then this is a good drive. So low voltage. I'm going to explain this to you further about voltage. Okay, guys. So basically with these parameters, remember that I had told you about the potency factor that could be optional? Try to look for this if you already found it and write it down in the comments so that we don't waste any more time. So I'm going to look for this off camera, and if I find this, I'm going to add this, okay? Because this is the potency factor. However, we are going to move on to our next video, which is the fun one. And we are physically entering these parameters. Aside from explaining our connection that I already did with the digital part. So we're going to see if this works, okay? Alright, guys. So I'll see you, well, this is, are these the same data? Does this change to what you had in our previous exercise? Write it down in the comments, guys. Okay? So having said this, we're going to move on to our next video, We're going to go to our practical part. Big hug, guys, and I'll see you guys on our next video.